So I think I have a better alternative to the rank unlock system for weapons that the developers are adding for 1.3. And I call it the strategic equipment limiter. It's part of my game mode, Caracal Conflict, and we'll even have a field manual entry like that. And it's called strategic equipment limiter. So here's what it does. When let's say you want to take a PKMN, you see the second tooltip, it says strategic equipment limit 0 out of 3. And the way the system works is that, by the way I created it, I wanted to create a system that realistically reproduces the rarity of certain items, that they're realistic for the scenario, and not use rank locks or squad locking systems like other games do, like Squad does, or like Reforger does in a normal standard conflict now. So what I did is I asked Grok, that's the AI from Twitter, or from X, and I asked it for a realistic scenario in 1989. If you had 64 fighting soldiers on each side, how many of each weapon type and equipment type that you get in the game would be available to soldiers? And I specifically asked it to not balance it for gameplay purpose or squad composition, but only to account for the how often it would have been produced, how much would be stockpiled, and just so it creates a realistic scenario, so it's not some gamified thing. And then it came up with certain numbers, and I coded into a system that, here's how it works. So let's say at the beginning of the game, you have access to anything you want. It's completely unlocked. And you can get 3 PKMNs. Those are the ones with the night scope mount. You can take them, and then it's a finite amount. You can't get any more until an hour passes. And the current setting is that if 1 hour passes, the strategic limit refreshes, which simulates new supplies being brought to the island and new fresh soldiers and equipment getting replaced. And I think that's a realistic system that retains the rarity of items without forcing players into specific playstyles. And other features of my game mode, for those who are new to it, one of the core features from the start was that you only have one main base spawn. And that doesn't change. So I also added the new island variant with 3 flags you have to cap, so the game isn't over in 10 minutes every time. And basically you spawn always in your main base. And all buildings that produce something or spawn something for you, armories, vehicle, helicopter pads, they all spawn only in the main base. You cannot build them in the front bases. So everything you have, every equipment you have, every soldier, everything flows out of the main base. And the other small changes are that the building radius is much bigger now. So let's say, for example, you go to building. Used to be a 100-meter radius. I increased it to 250 meters. You see that you can build in this entire area. That's for each cap area. And the other thing I changed is the cap radius. So normally the cap radius, I think, for around the flag is, I think, 100 or 50 meters radius. So it's around that. I changed it down to 10 meters. So it's barely around the 10 like that. And the reason I did that is because with the normal radius, a single defender in a tactically good position can still lose against a larger group of attackers who just camp somewhere out of view but still in the radius. So if you have, like, let's say 8 guys sneaking into the base, camping in this corner, and the defender has tactically, I think the term for it is fire control over the tent, because he's camping with a machine gun, carrying it. He would still lose from the cap because the guys were just camping over here. Now that the cap zone is much smaller, anybody who wants to take it has to first, like, physically control the area so he can physically be safe to get there to cap it. So a defender could, for example, camp it by setting up a machine gun here and aiming down that lane. So anybody who wants to cap it has to cross that area to get it. So the attackers have to actually physically, in a tactical sense, secure the area around it. Other current main features, they're listed in the build manual entry, is that there's no rank locks for anything. So let's say at the beginning of the game, you can go straight out and just build a helicopter pad, spawn the rocket helicopters, and start spamming the enemy main base if you want to. Now, that may seem stupid, but a lot of the things I'm doing seem really stupid, at least at a distance. The reason for that is I want the game to be more realistic in the sense that when both armies clash at the beginning, they have all the tactical options. And only as the battle progresses and strategic mistakes are made, they slowly lose that equipment or the ability to afford it. So it's more like you have everything at the beginning, you don't have to unlock it to get it later. You have everything at the beginning, and only if you take care of it, you can keep it. And name tags are reduced to 10 meters.